Bad people, evil people exist. I think we can agree on that. Now, there are some out there who say no one is truly evil, right? Bad people are essentially just a product of their upbringing, their surroundings, etc. Whether or not you want to view people as bad or not actually doesn't matter for the point I'm going to make in this video. Whether certain people are inherently evil, became bad people through outside influence, or you don't view people themselves as bad at all. There are just people making bad decisions, essentially. Everyone has the capacity for good inside them, so they aren't bad. It doesn't matter. I think we can certainly agree without a shadow of a doubt. There are some people out there who will do bad things, just for the sake of doing bad things. More importantly, though, there are a lot of people who will act in their own interest, who will act for their own benefit, even if it means harming others. They are not, inherently evil, like the first example I mentioned of people who actually do bad things to do bad things, right? But they place their personal gain above other people's happiness, safety, etc., right? And even in a situation where two people could benefit by cooperating with each other, if there is a little more to gain by not cooperating, or even backstabbing the other person, some will choose that over a mutually beneficial outcome. This is the, classic example from game theory of the prisoner's dilemma. Now, interestingly enough, I had this video planned quite a while, and I had most of my notes finished, and then actually a video about the prisoner's dilemma was recommended to me by YouTube, which just goes to show that the algorithm is pretty creepy. But yeah, that's a little side note on that. So the prisoner's dilemma is essentially about two individuals, right? Two players, if you will, who can choose to cooperate with each other or not. In the context of the prisoner's dilemma, we are talking about two people who committed a crime together. And essentially the question is, are they going to talk to the police? If they both don't talk to the police, they get a little bit of prison time, but not a lot. If they both do talk to the police, they both get quite a lot of prison time, right? Because they are both ratting each other out. And so there's a lot of, information about both people committing the crime. But if one person doesn't talk, doesn't rat the other person out, and the other person does, which of course they don't know, right, before choosing, because the police obviously wants them to talk, so they keep them separate, right? In that scenario, that one person that talked might, get off scot-free as sort of like a deal with the police, and the other person might get a longer prison sentence even. So essentially, you've got the choice between cooperating, hoping the other person cooperates, or rather not talking to the police, and hoping the other person doesn't talk to the police as well, and getting a very, very small prison sentence compared to the other two, or just talking to the police and hoping the other person does not. So you essentially don't get in trouble at all, and the other person gets all the blame. In this, thought experiment, right? If they both help each other out, if they both don't talk to the police, they gain more than if they both do. But if one person doesn't cooperate with the police and the other does, the person that cooperated with the police gains even more, right? While the other gains nothing, except a very long prison sentence. So in essence, right, if both people choose to have each other's back, choose to be a team, they, gain a decent amount, right? They only get a very short prison sentence. If both, don't stay a team, don't have each other's backs, they gain less. Or rather, they gain a longer prison sentence. But if one doesn't cooperate with the police and the other chooses to do so, that person gains even more and the other gains nothing at all. And this is, directly applicable to real life, to actually a lot of situations in real life. But again, we're talking about the inverse in real life. We're talking about gaining things. Obviously, in this situation, you want to avoid gaining more prison time. In real life, if we're talking about benefiting from something, profiting, I will generally try to flip this example into the positive, right? So if the two people have each other's back, if the two people act as a team, they gain more. They gain more benefit, which in the case of the prison example would be a lower sentence. If two people who could benefit each other simply don't help each other in real life, so we're assuming these people actually have skill sets that, would benefit each other. They both have something that the other would benefit from, or they have, a similar skill set, but that skill set compounds in what they are doing. They gain based on their personal skills, the situation they were born to, etc. Right? If they simply don't help each other out, they gain based on what they have available to themselves. Now, if they help each other and their skills and or resources complement each other, they'll gain more, right? Because, again, these skills, we said they either complement each other or they compound each other. So either these are skills that, the one person needs the other person's skills, the other person needs the first person's skills. And so by working together, they are essentially benefiting each other because what the person is doing, using their skill, costs them less effort than it is giving the other person benefit. And, if the skills compound, obviously both people are capable of doing a similar thing or essentially the same thing, but by working together, by compounding their skill, they can achieve greater results than if they were working on similar projects alone. But if person A is helping person B out, supplying their skill or their resources or both to benefit them, and person B is only using their abilities and resources to benefit themselves, person A is actually gaining less than they would if they didn't help person B at all and just focused on themselves. While person A is investing into person B, which automatically means they are investing less into themselves, right? Because you have a limited amount of resources and you have a limited amount of time and energy to engage in the things you are skilled at. Which means, right, person A is investing into person B, and so they have less resources and less time and energy to apply their skills to what they want out of life, what they are trying to achieve. And person B is investing everything they have into themselves, while additionally being supported by person A person A has less than they would have had if they didn't help out person B, while person B has more than they would have had if they had also helped out person A. So person B is actually benefiting from the help person A is giving them, and they are also benefiting from the fact that they are not being reciprocal about this, that they are not returning that help. What this essentially means is, if someone is always helping out others and only gets help from others in return sometimes, right? Basically, their entire behavior is just helping others. I help others. I help everyone. Obviously, only in some cases will there be a return on this way of behaving. What this means is, if you do this, you are mainly benefiting people who don't care about anyone but themselves. Right? Because even the people who are helped by a person like this and return the favor, even someone who receives help from an altruistic person and returns the favor and helps them out as well, even this person has still gained less than someone who received help from the altruistic person and didn't give anything in return. So in a world of lots of altruistic people, the one to gain the most is he who gives zero shits about others. Because he can focus everything he has on himself, and since everyone else supplies help freely, he gets all of that on top. The person that gives little or even nothing is actually benefiting the most in a world where people strive to be altruistic. Now, you might be thinking, where is this going then? Are you trying to convince me to be a bad person as well? Like, what is this? The answer is no. I'm not trying to convince you to be a bad person. In fact, I'm trying to do the opposite. In a system where good people act as altruistically as possible, as I just showed, the bad people win. So by not acting in your own interest at all and spending all of your time helping others, you are actually helping evil. Which sounds wild, right? I'm helping evil just by helping others? Well, yes. If you spend all of your time helping other people, then you are inherently benefiting the people who give you the least help back the most. To be honest, the concept of good being tied to doing things for others is kind of strange in and of itself. It's kind of manipulative, if you really think about it. And I've had a bit of an issue with this for a long time. Not because I'm saying people should only act in their own self-interest, but because I find it strange that the thing that is considered the highest good is serving other people. This is a system that is inherently beneficial to bad people. A system where being good is inherently beneficial to the people that are considered bad by that same system, which is a little weird if you actually think about it. In essence, this is the kind of ideology someone who has little and does little would preach. Someone who, doesn't have a lot of resources, but also doesn't have a lot of skills, doesn't do a lot. Someone who is lazy, someone who doesn't work, someone who doesn't acquire skills, acquire experience and stuff like that. They would benefit from a concept, from a ideology where good is well, tied to doing things for other people. Because that means if other people don't assist them in life, despite them not doing a lot, those other people are automatically bad. Well, they are not a bad person for not doing a lot, they're just lazy. Okay. Because, well, it's not like they're acting in their own self-interest, they're doing nothing at all, really. Knowing what you want, working towards your own goals, does not make you a bad person. What those goals are and how you go about reaching them, that's the real question. What are your goals? What do they actually entail? What is your purpose? And what are you willing to do to get there? That's what makes you a good or bad person. That's what makes you respectable or not. Your life purpose should be something that is a net positive or a zero-sum game for the world. And you should not try to reach it by taking advantage of others. If there's an opportunity to cooperate, to share a part or even much, if you're lucky most of the way with someone, great. Finding a friend who works well with you, or the partner of your dreams, awesome. But if your goals only align with someone else's trajectory short term, or only in certain very specific regards, certain aspects of life, certain sectors of your work, also fine. If it's an acquaintance, spend the time that benefits you both together. Enjoy it. Don't do this in regards to romantic interest, though, because it's bad for you in the long run. I'm going to be completely honest here. Don't go running around screwing countless people. I might make a video on this in the future, but that's not the best way of going about life, trust me. There are a lot of negative aspects to sleeping around. So if someone is not really a good fit for you, or only in a few very specific regards, think about whether that works for you in a proper relationship, or just leave. Don't, engage. And even with friendship, true friendship, actual close friendship, don't get too close with people who just don't fit with you long term. Because it's going to hurt when you have to leave them behind at some point. And if someone actually doesn't fit your character at all, not even right now, really, don't spend time with them in the first place. And there's going to be a ton of people thinking right now, well, they are part of this social group, blah, blah, blah. All of that is cope. All of that is cope. If there's one person, two people you enjoy meeting out of a social group, just hit them up. If you have two friends that you actually like and draw value from talking to them, they are just great people in your life. Out of, 10 people who are part of a friend group, just message them. Just meet up with those two people. Go out and eat something. Meet for coffee, whatever. You don't have to meet with that entire friend group. You don't have to engage in the events that entire friend group goes to. If a large part of the group that you're going to be spending time with are not people you work well with, or you draw value from, or maybe even the opposite. Maybe they are actually subtracting from your personal value, if you will. The general sentiment nowadays is everyone is great, everyone is unique, blah, blah, blah. First of all, not everyone is great. Let me tell you, that is bullshit in and of itself. But more importantly, just because someone is great in some way doesn't mean you're a good fit for each other, even as friends, even as, not very close friends, as buddies, if you will. People are such a rich canvas. There's such a large quantity of aspects to a person that someone can be great in their own way. And I'm not saying this in some corny kind of, politically correctly. I mean, actually, this is a great person in specific regards. Specific aspects of their personality are really awesome. But if that is not something that is of value to you, and if maybe the things that are great about you are not of value to this person, why are you trying to be friends with them? Why are you not instead looking for people who are a better fit for you and leaving this person alone to also do the same thing? To look for people who are a better fit for them specifically. Trying to be friends with a bunch of people who don't match your energy, don't evolve as quickly as you, it's just going to be a waste of time for both of you. Say in the example where, you evolve more quickly than the other person. That person is going to feel like you're pressuring them to change constantly, and you're going to feel like you're being dragged down by this person sooner or later. Even if you, got along really well when you met, just because of the fact that your speed of personal development is greater than theirs, there's going to be a disconnect sooner or later. And as I said, the reason why it's a waste of time is because you could be spending that time. You could be connecting with other people, and so could that other person. The amount of people you can maintain an actual relationship with is pretty limited. Limited by time, limited by mental capacity, limited by energy. There's that famous 150 people number. I think that number of, somewhat semi-close relationships, I think that number varies from person to person, and it certainly varies based on how much people value social interaction. But at the end of the day, your resources are limited. Every single person's resources are limited. Even if your main goal in life is interacting with as many people as possible, you're still limited in that capacity. Investing those resources, time, mental capacity, energy, into people who don't match you, don't respect your goals and dreams maybe, or won't really help you succeed in life, that's essentially you saying, I don't want to look or hold out for the people who match my character, so I'm just going to adjust my character to the people surrounding me. That's literally being an NPC. Instead of saying, hey, this person and I, we just aren't going in the same direction, and that's fine, you are unironically deleting your identity to spend time with these people. The most important thing to you should be, where do I want to go? What do I want out of life? You're not going to live forever. At some point, you are going to drop dead from something. Or maybe, die peacefully in your bed. I don't know, but you get the point. And at that point in life, do you want to look back at a life where you have achieved essentially nothing and spent all of your time with a friends group that didn't really match you in the first place, and you just kind of adjusted your entire identity to be a part of that group? That sounds kind of whack, bro. Even a life where you spend all your life with a friend group, socializing, but it was a good friend group. Even a life where you didn't achieve any like big goals or dreams or whatever, but you spend all of that life with a really, really cool, sick friend group that was a perfect match for you. And each one of them, you were also a perfect match for them. Even that is infinitely better than having spent your entire life in mediocrity with people who were a terrible fit for you in the first place. And again, that doesn't mean these people are shitty people or low quality people. Doesn't mean there's nothing great about them. I'm just saying, if they are not a good fit for you, if you don't fit together well, don't spend time with them. Spend time with people that are a good fit for you and give these people that aren't the chance to meet other people who are a good fit for them as well. Anyone who actually cares about you wants you to achieve your dreams, unless those are inherently evil, maybe. But in that case, you should reconsider your dreams, perhaps. But yeah, this should be your main priority, and you should work with people who share your dream or a similar dream that is compatible. And if your dream is a net positive for the world and you've avoided taking advantage of people, climbing over corpses to get there, then you have done good. If you have given something of value to the world and also really enjoyed doing it, felt satisfaction in doing it, and maybe if the stars aligned, maybe if the chance presented itself, cooperated with other people along the way who shared a similar dream, you have done good. You have helped others achieve dreams that are also in some way a net positive. You have yourself given something to the world, gifted something to the world, and you had fun. All of these are great, but you have done good by actually doing it, not by putting your resources and capabilities in the hands of someone else who perhaps never had any intention of helping anyone else in return. My recommendation is, when you meet new people, be cautious but well-intentioned. Don't actively seek out their friendship before you've gauged them a little, but be polite, respectful. Respectful but straightforward, too, in regards to your views, opinions on things, etc. Your personal beliefs. If they bring something up that you disagree with, say that. Stand your ground. If you haven't watched the video on that specifically, and why it's important to stand your ground from the very beginning in any new relationship you engage in, video link is, I believe here. Somewhere up here. Anyways, it's a good watch, and yeah, I talk about why it's important to stand your ground on things from the very beginning when you engage with new people. If you see signs that point to this person not being a good fit for you, and by the way, I'm not talking about you disagreeing with this person on something. If someone disagrees with you in a sensible, constructive manner, in a manner that is based on critical thinking, that can be very valuable in your life. Now, the question is, are they disagreeing with you because they actually think you are incorrect on this topic and they want to give you the benefit of explaining to you their perspective, or are they disagreeing with you because they just hate your opinion, or because they just generally like disagreeing with people, right? Those are the kinds of things you have to figure out. But I would say, generally speaking, just because someone doesn't share your opinion on something on a surface level, that doesn't mean that they are necessarily a bad fit for you. If this is a person who holds a lot of different opinions, but they really like to engage with you in constructive conversation and share ideas, sort of exchange concepts, exchange perspectives, that can be very valuable as well. So that was just I just wanted to go on a little side tangent there to make sure you don't, cut people out of your life just because they disagree with you once. What I mean by these signs is, does this person really annoy you on like a base human level? Are you comfortable around this person? Does this person provide any value to you as an individual? And can you provide any value to them? Or if you can, are they actually willing to accept that value? Do they even see it as valuable? If you see any signs, right, that this person might not be a good fit for you, accept those signs, take them seriously. Again, in the video about standing your ground, I talk about intuition, and this is a situation where intuition can be very valuable. If you have a negative kind of feeling about a person, maybe ask a few specific questions to see what's what, to kind of try to figure them out a little more, right? Dig in the direction that you're feeling kind of iffy about. And, once you've seen what's what, and you're still not feeling this person, move on. Not wanting or compulsively needing to be friendly with everyone doesn't make you a bad person, lad. And if someone acts against you, let there be consequences immediately. If they act against you, your interests, your goals, proactively, I'm not talking about someone being a bad fit for you. I'm not talking about some random mistake happening. I'm talking about someone actively harming you / your goals, your progress, if you will. Let there be consequences immediately. This is something I talked about in the Stand Your Ground video as well. Don't take shit from people. Because if you do and don't retaliate, they are going to expect of you that you take shit. And they are going to do it more. They are going to disrespect you more, and they, in the same vein, are going to act against your interests more often. Now, if the person apologizes after you have, again, retaliated in some way, shape, or form, and this may even just be cutting off contact with this person, if the person apologizes and makes things right, offers some kind of, gift or whatever, does something to make things right again, give them another chance. If not, if they don't do this, just move on. Forget this person. This person acted negatively against you. You may have retaliated, but that was just the consequence of their negative action, to let them know you're not taking shit. You then, gave them every chance to apologize. If they don't, move on. Forget this person. Now, if they do apologize and they do it again, they act against you again, actively, proactively, again, right? I'm not talking about a mistake. I'm not talking about you not liking something about their personality. I'm talking about this person is actively doing something that is harming you or your pursuit of your goals. In this situation, it's your choice whether or not to give them another chance. I think that depending on the action, you should maybe make a decision on a case-by-case basis. But You shouldn't give anyone more than 3 shots when it comes to serious stuff. I think 3 is generally a good number. Depending on what they did, maybe you shouldn't give them a second chance at all. Again, this is your choice, and it really depends on the situation, so I wouldn't, make any hard statements here about numbers, but 3 shots, I think, is a good general rule of thumb. And even if the thing they did is not super serious, but just incredibly annoying, move on as well. There are lots of people you can meet anywhere and everywhere. Don't waste your energy letting someone get on your nerves forever. Okay, even if what they did, is not super serious. If this is something that was inherently extremely annoying to you, if something about this person is inherently extremely annoying, if this is something they constantly do and it really bothers you, move on. Spending time with another person should be a benefit for both parties. You spending time with a friend, with a partner, with your family even, should benefit everyone involved. That is the ideal. If someone is bad for you, and even just in the sense that they are holding you back, or you are bad for them, don't engage with this person. Don't be with this person. Don't work on a relationship with this person. Move on. If overall it takes more to spend time with someone than it gives you, don't. If the cost and resources, if you will, energy, time, mental capacity, etc., outweighs the benefits you're receiving, joy, knowledge/wisdom, a helping hand, etc., right? This can be many different things. If the cost and resources outweighs the benefits you're receiving, stop. Recall your goals that you're trying to achieve, your dreams that you're working towards, your purpose. Think about what you're doing and move on. You're not obliged to spend time with people forever. You're not obliged to be helpful and or friendly towards everyone. And as I demonstrated at the beginning, by doing so, you're actually benefiting the worst kinds of people. Be respectful and courteous, but also upfront and no nonsense about your social interactions. By doing this, you're going to give bad people a real hard time, and trust me, you're going to thank yourself for it later. Jesus, it's getting proper hot in here. Now, this video touched on morality quite a lot, but it was very specific. I'm going to make a dedicated video on morality in general and my thoughts on morality in general in the future. But I wanted to talk about this first because it's very practically applicable, and I do think talking about altruism and what people generally consider to be good nowadays was a very important topic, just because I think people have a very wrong perception of what it means to be good, at least wrong in my opinion. I'm still working on the video on building character as well. So I might do, the morality one first. I might do the character one first. I might combine those two. I don't really know yet, but they are definitely coming in the future. That being said, if you enjoyed this video, if you drew value from it, if I could impart some wisdom, some knowledge on you, be sure to leave a like and It would really help if you share this video with someone who you think could benefit from it or might find it interesting as well. If you have any questions about what I talked about in this video, if you want to discuss something, want to go into specifics, or if you have a suggestion maybe for a future video, either on practical philosophy or on, health, things like nutrition, stuff like that, or on training, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm happy to take any suggestions and talk about things in the future. And if you want to join me on my journey of making more of these talks and growing this channel, then go ahead and subscribe. I would very much appreciate that as well. And if you do, I suppose activate the notification bell. Yeah, don't forget to stick to your purpose, keep your goals in sight, and if someone is just not a good fit for you, if they are not helping you achieve your goals, if you are not helping them achieve their goals, if you just annoy each other, if it takes a lot of effort out of you to socialize with this person and you're not getting a return on that investment, move on.